Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 28th. Here's what we're working on.
I'm Simone Gavros reporting live in Stony Creek. The ice at Stony Creek Arena is here to stay after Mayor Andrea Horwath walked back her decision to remove it as a way to cut costs in the 2026 budget.
Hamilton police have pitched a $239 million budget to support new units.
Needs that back to Krebs, back across to Samuelson, shoots, scores! Tipped in front by Darlene.
And the Leafs wrap up a disastrous 5-game homestand, this time against Buffalo. Let's see how it's going to be around the homestand and on the roads this morning, Brian.
The roads aren't too bad. We do have a disabled vehicle, but with the cold, a lot of vehicles go, I don't like this.
I'm not starting.
I don't want to do this today. And a lot of us feel the same way. I don't like the cold that much either anymore. And it is bitterly cold this morning. Minus 17 is our temperature. Then you factor in the winds, which thankfully this morning are fairly light. It still feels like minus 27. So a bitterly cold start. The sky is fairly clear. We will see a bit of sunshine for the day today. That'll be this morning, and then we'll get increasing clouds and we'll get some flurries later on today. But a high today should be minus 10, wind chill values about minus 18 or so. So it's going to continue to be cold. And actually, the next few days, the high temperatures are going to slide, so it's going to get even colder as we head toward the weekend. So be prepared for another frigidly cold day. Cold weather alert still in effect for the city of Hamilton, the Hamilton Medical Officer of Health, but it has been dropped by Environment Canada. So a little bit of good news for you. How about we check traffic and see what's going on? Traffic this morning, fine again here at the 403 and Waterdown Road. Our exclusive cameras doing okay right there. I mentioned the disabled vehicle. It is off to the side, and it's just kind of underneath our camera right here. So it's Toronto-bound QEW going past Nikola Tesla Boulevard. As you can see, you're just kind of glimpsing the blocking vehicle right there. Hopefully that'll be cleared. Otherwise, that's all we've got. Other side of the Skyway Bridge, south of 2 at North Shore, looks good. Nothing at Bronte Road. Doing fine so far this morning. As usual, take it carefully, please. Roads could be a little slippery still. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, Hamilton Mayor Andrea Horwath walking back a decision to remove the ice at the Stony Creek Arena. It had been presented as a way to cut costs in the city budget. Simone Gavros joins us from outside the arena this morning with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, Annette. Well, last week on Friday, Mayor Andrea Horwath shared or presented some of the cuts that she was hoping to hit in order to hit her 4.25 budget target for 2026. And that included removing the ice from the Stony Creek Arena here behind me, which would have saved $161,000, but would also have moved community members to another arena around 10 minutes away from here. Now, this was not well received by the community. Also, the Stony Creek Tigers as well were not happy to hear this, and the councillor here in the area, Matt Francis. Now, yesterday, Mayor Andrea Horwath posted this on her Twitter page, walking back her decision, saying, quote, the draft staff proposed budget had inappropriately embedded within it the decommissioning of the ice plant at the Stony Creek Arena. Contrary to my directive, this will have an impact on the families, teams, and community groups who use the arena, and that is unacceptable to me. Now, she noted her appreciation to Ontario Sport Minister Neil Lumsden, who released a statement of his own on Monday, saying, quote, closing the rink is a short-sighted move that will cost our community a neighborhood facility that serves families, athletes, and residents of all ages. So this morning I have reached out to MPP Neil Lumsden as well as Stony Creek Councillor Matt Francis for more reaction about the ice being kept here at the arena, but also the plans to see who's going to be funding this to keep it here in the city. For now, sending things back over to you, Rick.
Thank you, Simone. Amid the current deep freeze, some residents of a downtown Hamilton condo have been without heat for 4 days after a weekend power outage knocked their heat pumps out of commission. Residents of 212 King William Street said they contacted energy company Enercare after the blackout on Saturday and were told someone could make the repairs early this week, leaving them without heat for several days. A unit CHCH News went to yesterday was sitting at 15 degrees Celsius, that's 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Initial call on Monday, I did ask what I should do and if they would be willing to compensate me for space heaters that I had to buy. And they said they would not, because their policy is that they would provide them if they deemed that my unit wasn't working.
The building had previously sent a letter to its tenants reminding them that the heat pump is their responsibility. Enercare telling CHCH News that they're on site trying to fix the issue and that heat pump boards may be needed to be manually and individually reset or replaced for the heat to work. They did not provide a timeline for when the heat will return to the condo.
Hamilton Police Chief Frank Bergen has pitched his $239 million budget proposal to city councillors, saying the 6.8% increase is needed to support new units.
So what we're asking this council to consider, because I've heard it time and time again, we want to see police in our communities. Therefore, what we're going to take is and build on the efficacy of our deployment in the downtown in Division 1, where we have 8 foot patrol officers or core patrol officers.
These new patrol officers would also be deployed in Hamilton's East End and on the mountain. That's where police say they're seeing a surge of youth violence, specifically involving bear spray. More on that in a moment. The budget increase also sees the creation of an intimate partner violence unit with 20 investigators. Hamilton City Council will review the 2026 budget over the next 30 days.
Now, getting back to the bear spray attacks Hamilton's police chief was talking about, 2 teens have been arrested after a 15-year-old boy was chased and sprayed on Hamilton's Mountain. Happened on East 14th Street between Upper Wentworth and Upper Wellington. A man who tried to help him was threatened at knife point.
A manufacturing site in Brantford is closing the loop for Canadian food producers to package their products in this country.
This ensures the food on Canadian grocery shelves is supported by Canadian industry from start to finish.
That's the president of Massili North America. The French company makes lids for food jars right now in Brantford. It's investing another $85 million, with $5 million from the province, for a new factory that will make metal cans using steel from Hamilton. 50 new jobs will be created. Premier Doug Ford says it's a milestone in Ontario's fight against U.S. tariffs. Raw materials are often shipped outside Canada for the next step in production and then brought back across the border again.
Prime Minister Mark Carney denies rolling back any of his Davos speech to Donald Trump after a member of the U.S. administration claimed on Fox News that he had.
Very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos.
To be absolutely clear, and I said this to the president, I meant what I said in Davos.
Carney's internationally praised speech advocated for middle power alliances to push back against great power nations using economic coercion. Trump responded by saying Canada lives because of the United States. Then he threatened 100% tariffs on Canadian goods if Canada makes a deal with China, days after he said the Canada-China tariff agreement was a good thing.
A barn fire in Sheffield, near Cambridge, has killed 16 sheep. Property damage from the fire is set at more than $400,000. It started around 3 yesterday morning, and water had to be trucked in because the rural area has no hydrants. It's believed to have started by a wood-burning stove.
4 people are in hospital. 1 is listed in critical condition after a multiple vehicle crash on Highway 410 in Brampton. Provincial police say the northbound lanes of the highway are closed between Steeles Avenue and Queen Street in Brampton after the crash, which happened at around 2:30 a.m. Emergency crews are still on the scene.
Nestle Canada is recalling some of its Gerber arrowroot biscuits. 155-gram packages of the baby cookies may contain soft plastic or paper pieces. The pieces may have been in the arrowroot flour used to make the biscuits. Nestle says there have been no complaints about the product. It is no longer sourcing the flour from the supplier involved in this recall. A measles outbreak in South Carolina has become the largest in the United States in decades. More than 600 new cases have been reported in South Carolina in just over the last month. There's also a large outbreak on the Utah-Arizona border. Now, Canada's latest weekly report on measles shows 67 cases across the entire country, with no cases reported in Ontario at the moment. Measles is caused by a highly contagious airborne virus. A vaccine can prevent it. It's marked by red, watery eyes and a rash. Most people recover from the virus, but measles can lead to pneumonia, blindness, brain swelling, even death. A NASA research plane has had to make a gear-up belly landing at an airport in Houston, Texas. 2 people on board weren't hurt. The WB-57 plane can fly at very high altitude. NASA's been using these planes for scientific and atmospheric research since the 1970s. NASA says the landing gear did not deploy because of a mechanical issue. Feel anything shake last night? There was an earthquake felt in parts of southern Ontario just before 11 o'clock. Earthquakes Canada says it registered a 3.7 magnitude. It was centered southeast of Aurelia at a depth of about 5 kilometers. The website's Did You Feel It link has had thousands of posted reports from people who experienced the quake from as far south as Niagara Falls and St. Catharines, as far west as Kitchener, all the way eastward to Belleville. There are no reports of damage.
Maple Leafs came home from a fantastic road trip last week, but they put a bow on a disastrous 5-game homestand against the Sabres.
Feeds that back to Krabs, back across to Samuelson, shoots, scores! Tipped in front by Dahlin. Rasmus
Dahlin scored the first hat-trick of his career and added 2 assists as Buffalo blasted Toronto 7-4. It was the Leafs' 7th loss in their last 8 games, including an 0-4-1 homestand. Tage Thompson had a goal and an assist in his 500th NHL game, helping Buffalo win their 4th game in a row and for the 19th time in 22 outings. Buffalo's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen allowed 2 goals on 5 shots before leaving with a lower body injury in the first period, and Colton Ellis made 16 saves in relief. Austin Matthews and Max Domi each had a goal and 2 assists for Toronto. The Hamilton Tiger Cats have re-signed quarterback Harrison Frost. The 27-year-old has spent the past 2 seasons in Hamilton, where he's recorded 1 touchdown pass in very limited action. Cats also signed practice roster running back Shane Watts. The BC Lions, by the way, have signed Canadian quarterback Nathan Rourke, last year's most outstanding player, to a contract extension through 2028. The Buffalo Bills have hired Joe Brady as their new head coach. The 36-year-old was Buffalo's offensive coordinator for the past 2 years and replaces the fired Sean McDermott. Under his guidance, the Bills' offense has been one of the NFL's best, with quarterback Josh Allen winning the MVP award in 2024 and running back James Cook winning the rushing title this past season. Meanwhile, the Steelers have introduced their new head coach.
I understand and embrace the responsibility, the privilege, and the weight that comes with this stewardship. This city, this franchise, this fan base means the world to me, because Pittsburgh's my world, and it's just awesome to be back here.
Pittsburgh native Mike McCarthy is back home to lead the Steelers. The 62-year-old replaces Mike Tomlin, who stepped down earlier this month after 19 seasons at the helm. McCarthy previously coached in Green Bay and Dallas and won the Super Bowl over the Steelers in 2011. This is a shocker. ESPN is reporting that 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach Bill Belichick did not get voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. Belichick, who also won 2 rings as an assistant coach, didn't receive the necessary 40 votes from the 50-person panel of media members and other Hall of Famers. The 73-year-old won 333 NFL games, but was also involved in the Spygate and Deflategate cheating scandals. The Hall of Fame class of 2026 will be announced on February 5th. Hamilton's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 29 points and added 6 rebounds to guide the defending champion Thunder to a 104-95 win over New Orleans. Now, things got a little heated at the final buzzer when players from both teams started fighting in what was a testy game all night long. OKC's win stopped their 2-game losing skid and halted the Pelicans' 2-game win streak. At 10 o'clock this morning, the Canadian Olympic Committee will announce Canada's flag bearers for next week's opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics in Italy. Caitlin Laws and her Manitoba rink have qualified for the Scotties Tournament of Hearts playoff round after they blasted UConn 9-4 in Mississauga. And Brantford Bulldogs captain Jake O'Brien is the OHL Player of the Week after recording 4 goals and 5 assists in 3 games.
All right, we're working our way through January here, 28th morning of January, and it's Wednesday, middle of the week here, and we're looking at traffic. Then we'll get to the all-important forecast coming up. Traffic this morning, fine. 403 Waterdown Road, 403 generally is fine all the way up through Ancaster. Still no problems on the link of the Red Hill Valley Parkway. Where we do have a minor problem is on our MTO traffic camera right underneath the bridge there. We've got a disabled vehicle. It's Toronto bound right at Nikola Tesla Boulevard. It's, a visual distraction at best, blocking the partial right lane and the right shoulder there. Otherwise, nothing east of Lake looks good. We'll flip ahead to the 403 junction, Toronto bound coming towards us out of Hamilton. So nothing there. The Ford plant all the way through the 427 Gardner QEW. No problems right now. The problem is the cold temperatures just continue, and it's going to get worse. Actually, it's going to get colder. So minus 17 is our temp right now. Factor in the winds, actually they're fairly light, southwest at 21, makes it feel like minus 27 this morning. So it's bitterly cold, dangerously cold actually. The sky is fairly clear right now. We are going to see some sunshine this morning, then it will become cloudy. So we'll start with sun, then we'll get the clouds, we'll get some flurries later on. High today only minus 10. That is way below seasonal for this time of year. Low pressure to the north, bit of a trough dropping its way across the province, southern Ontario, giving us that cloud cover, giving us the flurries, but thankfully the winds will be fairly light throughout the day today, and we're going to see a bit of sunshine for the day tomorrow as well. But look at these temperatures. Minus 10 for the Niagara Peninsula, for Hamilton, a little bit better for Halton Peel, Toronto, but only just a little bit. Wind chill values today about minus 18. Tonight, temperature down to minus 14, 15, 17. Oh yeah. And wind chill values about minus 26 to 27. So another bitterly cold overnight, and even colder for tomorrow. Minus 10 and minus 11 around the Horseshoe for tomorrow, and wind chill values once again down around minus 18 to 20. So the cold air is just sitting with us, and it's not going to go away for a while. So out the door this morning, temperature right now is minus 17. Factor in the winds, it feels like minus 27. The sky is mainly clear. And we'll look long range for the weekend coming up in a few minutes for you. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Well, coming up after the break in business news, a new round of beer store closures. There's a Hamilton store on the list. In overseas trading this morning, the Canadian dollar is up a little bit this morning after a huge jump yesterday. So right now it's set at 73.7 cents U.S. Gold has gained another $189. It's now over $5,200 an ounce. Oil is down 8 cents to $62.32 U.S. a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, London, Frankfurt, and Paris all trending down by a bit this morning.
Asian markets were all up today, with Hong Kong leading the way. North American markets were mixed at yesterday's close. The TSX was up marginally. The Dow dropped more than 400 points. The Nasdaq also up on the day.
The Bank of Canada expected to make an interest rate announcement and update its economic forecast later this morning. Its trend-setting rate is expected to hold at 2.25%. The rate announcement comes as the Canadian economy faces an uncertain future, with the scheduled review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement coming up. As well, the U.S. Federal Reserve is also expected to hold its key rate this morning of 3.6% unchanged.
The beer store has announced it is closing 4 more stores, including one in Hamilton. The beer store at Eastgate Square, along with stores in Brampton, Etobicoke, and London, will be shut down by March 22nd. The beer store says the latest round of closures is a direct result of the evolving marketplace. On its website, the group of breweries has launched a new empty return locator to encourage customers to bring their bottles back.
Toronto Premium Outlets has submitted an expansion proposal to the town of Halton Hills. The plan includes room for 25 new stores and a 4-story garage to bring the total number of parking spaces to more than 3,500. The Ministry of Transportation and Halton Region also have to review this proposal because of just how close the shopping centre is to Highway 401.
Lululemon Athletica has cut 100 part-time jobs as it makes changes to its customer care division. The Vancouver-based retailer says the jobs are related to a guest education center servicing all of North America. It's been described as a hub where staff handle more than 10,000 customer calls, emails, and live chats daily. Lululemon says the center is moving to a model that relies on full-time employees rather than part-time staff.
Okay, we are taking a quick break right now. Brian is back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast. We're going to find out how long this cold is going to stick around.
624, good morning. Here's a problem that we do have now on this Wednesday morning. It's not on the QEW, but it is a visual distraction. We have a structure fire in Oakville, and it's just off the service road. And as you can see, we've got emergency crews way up there in the distance. This is a structure fire at, I believe it's a storage access unit. Yes, and so what they've done is they've closed the North Service Road between Joshua Creek and Invicta. So that is a problem there. And of course, with all the flashing lights, it's a visual distraction right there. Otherwise, we just have this disabled vehicle, Nikola Tesla Boulevard, Toronto-bound lanes. It's off to the side, but once again, a visual distraction. 7th looks good in St. Catharines, south of 2, coming off the Skyway. Pretty busy at the moment. There's that visual problem through Oakville. Sheridan looks fine, and the 403 west of Mississauga. No problems really on the highways this morning. So let's check what's happening with the temperatures. There's the problem, minus 17 right now with a wind chill of minus 27. So again, dangerously cold this morning. Better in other areas, minus 13 Mississauga, Grimsby, minus 10 for Toronto. Quite a difference there. So seasonal temperatures are minus 2 and minus 10 for the overnight low. So that shows you how cold it is right now and how cold it is to start the day. Sometimes records for the day today. And for school today, we should climb to minus 16 for the first bell. We'll have some sun this morning, and then clouds, flurries, and minus 10 will be the high for later on today. So that's today, minus 10. Minus 14 tonight, wind chill values into the, well, minus 20s, minus 22 or so. And then tomorrow, minus 11, wind chill minus 21, high of only minus 13 on Friday. Dangerously cold for Friday. And of course, we'll have some sunshine for Friday and Saturday, but the temperature starts to moderate. Yay, minus 9 Saturday, minus 6 on Sunday, getting into February. And for Groundhog Day Monday, we'll get some sun and minus 4. It's forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks, Bren. NASA is on track for a critical test tied to its next moon mission.
It says the Space Launch System rocket will go through a so-called wet test as soon as Saturday, and that means it will contain fuel during a practice run. NASA says if the test goes well, the mission to send astronauts around the moon may happen in the next few months. If not, NASA says the rocket will receive maintenance. The crew for the Artemis 2 mission is made up of 3 Americans and Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen, who will become the first Canadian to venture beyond low Earth orbit.
Pride of London, Ontario.
Yeah. That's going to be a very exciting trip.
Yes.
For him, and I think a moment of pride for all Canadians.
Yep.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. Good morning.
Me to the moon.
I knew it was coming.
Let me play among the stars.